Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. If anybody's not aware of this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video, we're going to be looking at MMTLP, and the focus is going to be providing a quick update on the space chat proposed for tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern time. And this will be taking place on Twitter. So the link is available in the profile, and I will also add the link in the description below. So we're going to be looking at updates with regard to the latest agenda and also what we're going to be looking at. And also, obviously, I'm aware that there are time constraints, so I'm going to be sharing with you a plan to deal with those time constraints. And we're also going to look at reactions to the Forbes interview covering MMTLP, or should I say the Forbes article. So before we make a start, let's have a quick look at what's happening in the market. So headline here from CNBC, Nasdaq jumps after Microsoft earnings beat expectations. I think overall the market is still a little bit jittery, but if we have a look at the reaction here, Microsoft at time of editing was up in excess of 7.7%. Great impact on other AI stocks such as Nvidia, that was up 3.65%. Meta was also up right now 1.86%. AMD is up just over 3%. Amazon up in excess of 3%. However, other significant areas of the market are down, including energy, healthcare, banks, consumer defensive as well. So not a strong day for the market so far. Let's now have a look at an update for the space chat proposed for tomorrow, Thursday the 27th of April, 4 p.m. Eastern time. And the main change I've made is try to accommodate MMTLP studios. Hopefully we can get them in early. And the other change that I've made is obviously taking into account the very, very short time that we have in terms of question and answer as well as comments from Erin. So I am making a request to all the speakers if you could send me a DM with your email address, and this will be shared with Erin privately, and also this will give her an opportunity to expand and follow up on any questions and comments, because we are limited for time, and it's also going to be having an impact on other speakers if we have spent too long on one speaker and questions. So that's the compromise, and hopefully everybody can stick to their times. It is going to be quite challenging, but stay tuned for this, and I hope you can all join. We'll add the details in the description below. I'll have a quick review of the article in Forbes, and the ad title here is MMTLP, the wild side of the meme stock that left thousands of shareholders with nothing. So this is written by a person called Brandon Cockadin, so we're going to call him Brandon Cock just for short. So let's have a look at his profile. So Brandon Cock stated here, I am a graduate of the University of Miami. Before joining Forbes, I worked as a reporter and editor at Bloomberg, and he's covered everything from sports, negative rates, and how negative rates impacted the Black-Scholes model. So it looks like he's a jack of all trades and a master of nothing. So in terms of his LinkedIn profile, he's been at Forbes for around about 7 months. Certainly looks like he's trying to make a name for himself. Before that, he was working in marketing as an asset manager, and certainly doesn't come across as a credible person with sufficient experience in oil and gas, sufficient experience in markets. So one of the things that he stated here in his article, he stated, the CEO says he wasn't aware of the stock being how trading had begun in the stock, and it went for $12.26 a share in November. That's worthless today. So if Brandon Cock had any sense, he would, in terms of making this article a little bit more impartial and covering the truth, he would investigate that. How has a stock ever traded without the authorization of the CEO? So any credible journalist will look at that, question that, and look at reasons. So he's saying that he's not even questioned that. So not a great start to his article. He's then called out people on YouTube such as the Bird Lady and Jon Stewart, we know is very prominent and a very fair and honest member of YouTube who has conspiracy enthusiasts. So I would say, Mr. Brandon Cock, you are the conspiracy enthusiast, not the people you're referring to. He's talked about FINRA here, non-governmental FINRA halted MMTL trading in December. Tens of thousands of investors are discovering they may be stuck, but again, no reference in the article to reasons why it was halted, because he obviously clearly doesn't understand, and if he were to understand and he had some knowledge of the markets, he would be able to question that. So obviously, marketing background, talking about sports, he hasn't got the background to do that. And he's also stated clear, a quotation from James Angel, professor at Georgetown University, who James has said, "It's pretty clear to me that people have been swindled, but it's not clear to me who did this." So certainly I think this is a question that should be raised, and we know how we will find out who swindled us, and that is with discovery. So obviously FINRA doesn't want discovery, and FINRA are not looking for discovery. And let's now have a look at some reactions to this article. The first reaction here is from Meta New, who stated, unfortunately Forbes is on FINRA hedge fund side. So certainly agree with that in terms of the article. Definitely not impartial and definitely not balanced, looking at both sides. And one of the good guys has stated, additionally, if you want to correct Forbes' blatant misinformation and possibly request corrective actions for such slander, this may be useful. So a great link there to TISWAS23, and there's an email address that you can send corrections to, and it's corrections@forbes.com. So thank you TISWAS and good guys for that. So the next shout out here is to Copy and Paste, who've again tagged in Forbes and said the article attacking 65,000 poor investors today who were sold hundreds of millions of counterfeit MMTLP dividends or shares. Congress, SEC, FBI are investigating, but Forbes took the side of the corrupt financial institutions, naked shorting companies into bankruptcy. So again, strong argument there. And the final shout out I'm going to give here, and I think a great response, is from Kirsten Shaughnessy, who stated, look at this FINRA and SEC. The mainstream media is finally paying attention. Don't quite understand what's happening yet, but at least wants to know why you've kept MMTLP shareholders' money from. So there were a few questions asked in there. Again, the journalist, Mr. Koch, was not quite forthright in terms of showing a deep level of understanding. And I think he, obviously maybe a lack of experience, a lack of understanding. But at least the article was published, and I think what we're saying here is people will be reading, and hopefully people will be intelligent enough to make their own minds up. And regulators have let counterfeit shares run wild. That's not in the retail's best interest, certainly not. So tagging in Forbes, learn the real story, keep the pressure on, and also look at other stocks as well. And tagging in Ham, John Berder, and also Anna Trades. Just going to finish off by giving a quick shout out here to Ham, Short Killer, who stated, MMTLP, I told you don't sleep, wait until what's next. So let's see what happens and stay tuned. And finally, if you would like to join our Discord as well as a challenge, details are in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.